It's March 2020 and Gudi Padwa, the most auspicious festival in the Hindu calendar and also the start of the Hindu New Year, is just a week away. We Indians love to celebrate and food is an important part of our celebration. Shrikhand, which is the hot favorite for consumption and celebration on this day, is something that my company manufactures and sells in large numbers. Shrikhand is basically an Indian sweet that is made from hung curd, sugar, and it's seasoned with different types of spices or flavors like fruits. We are in a partners meeting in our boardroom, and on call is our other set of partners in my native place Bhilavdi, where we are about to take a call which has never been done. The atmosphere is tense, but we are all contemplating, should we be stopping production? In this hot seat, as I sit and try to wonder what's going to be ahead, the vision has never been this unclear and foggy as it is at that time on what to expect for the next days, next week, next month, next year. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Indraneel Chitale and I am a 4th generation partner at Chitale Group. My family is engaged for the last 81 years in the activity of selling milk products, Indian sweets and snacks, savories and many other food items. And we call ourselves as a farm to fork organization where we connect many products from our farmers in the rural part of the country to our consumers, which are very often in the urban and the more developed part of the country. In the early hours of the day, our people are trying to put milk onto the doorsteps of the millions of consumers that we have in the city of Pune. And throughout the day, be it the breakfast, be it the afternoon snack, be it the after dinner sweet, Chitale as a brand is present in the lives of consumer throughout the day. The connect with the brand is not simply about the food, but it is also about the emotion and also the feelings that we bring out from our consumers when they are consuming our products. So that's why we have our tagline, which is Natyatla Godwa Japto Ami, which means we are the ones who try to preserve the sweetness in everyone's relation. And never has been the emphasis on preserving emotions and relations been higher than the COVID and the lockdown era. And today, I am going to share with you our learnings in facing the pandemic, our experiences in dealing with the pandemic, and as a family business, our experience of battling, fighting COVID and motivating our people to satiate people's emotion. This is the month that we would never forget and eventually a year that we would all remember as the one that we sat in our homes for the longest time. As we were wondering in our meeting room what to do about the impending shutdown that Pune, which is our headquarters city, was about to go through, we figured that it would be a 3 or a 4 day ordeal that would just be opened a day or two before Gudi Padwa, because hey, who doesn't celebrate Gudi Padwa? That's important in our country. But just a day before Gudi Padwa, our Honorable Prime Minister announced one of the most strictest lockdown the world had ever witnessed, and everybody was forced to celebrate home, and whether they were celebrating or not, they were pretty anxious about what was happening. Phew, what a time it was. Nobody imagined being home this long, trying to clean their houses, trying to video call their friends, and hoping that one day they would be able to step out and socialize and eat and drink and interact with people as normalized as they used to before. But in this era of new normal, as I wonder, as an essential service providing company, what exactly are the things that would help any organization sustain through the pandemic and not just sustain but come out stronger? And if I was to summarize them, I would break them into 3 facets. One is the people, second is the process and the technology, third is the communication. As an organization, we employ over 1,500 people across various streams in our organization, and we interact with a lot more people in part of our suppliers, our backward integration, and also over 400 distributors who are doing the job of putting our product onto the shelves, and also similar number of people who are putting the milk onto the doorsteps of many people in the city of Pune. As always, being part of the essential services team, our people were on their way preparing to start their day at 3:30 a.m. in the morning and planning to turn up at work at 4 a.m., which is the standard time for milk delivery team. The first thing that we as a family did was to break the red tape and actually be on the ground. Now, if you study all the typical management books or the war theories that we have been taught as leaders, The generals are never on the war field. But hey, this was not a conventional war we were fighting. This was a war against COVID, which was something that we knew very less about a year ago. And the fear and the lack of knowledge was something that was a bigger deterrent for people to be on ground doing what they meant to do as part of the essential services team. Being on ground with them on the field and being part of them, and so having somebody in the organization higher up being around them was something that was a re-emphasizing factor for our people, because they continued to do their job flawlessly, and in spite of all the negative news around us and all the tense environment around us, we were able to execute our job, and not one day went where Pune did not get milk. A month down the line, we were all getting used to the idea that things are not going to be the same again. But our workforce was also putting in their efforts in ensuring that everybody who was staying home was getting the food they required as and when they needed. But while doing this, we as an organization were also the carriers of the product from the rural market to the urban market, and moving the product back from the urban market to the rural market in forms of transportation. Our biggest concern as an organization at that time was to ensure that COVID, which at that time was an urbanic phenomena or something that affected more people in the city, should not be something that goes into the villages because of us. We should not be the reason that people in the villages who will not have the access to the healthcare like people in the cities would, should as and much try to be shielded away from the effects of COVID. Till date, this claim stands true. And we have been able to ensure that no people around us in our organization are affected by COVID because of any lack of processes that were followed by us. And that brings me down to the part where process, which is the second part of my 3 pillars, is going to be very important. The thing is that humans can do things repeatedly, but there will be a human error that is associated with it. This human error is something that we as organizations can overcome by setting the right kind of processes, standard operating procedures, and putting in a lot of emphasis on systems and technology overcome. While all of us in the organization were extremely sensitive on the aspect of being careful and not being the agent to propagate COVID, we had to rely on our systems to ensure that we were following this day in, day out, and making less mistakes and ensuring that people in the organization remained safe. As a food industry, there is an extremely high emphasis on safety, hygiene, sanitation, and overall quality assurance in our organization. The reason all those FDA audits, all those ISO audits are put into place is to ensure that we have systems that are able to function even in such times of adversity. Having set up a process and a system inside the organization where people were accustomed to following many things, we did not really have to educate them too much about what to do, what not to do in COVID. Apart from a few more mandatory checks that were inculcated into the system to ensure a better quality compliance measure inside, we really did not have to do much, and our people became the proponent of safety for the people around them once they were away from work. This ensured that all our plants, all our offices, all our warehouses, and all our retail avenues remained free of COVID. Along with this, the family's firm emphasis on adopting technology, being relevant and being progressive, and automating many processes was something that made our environment a lot more secure for our people, our consumers, and in general the whole ecosystem around us. We were able to be there in the right place at the right time thanks to our emphasis on adopting new technologies like modified atmosphere packaging, retort, and sterilization. Amidst these frontline activities, we as leaders were often involved a lot with the governmental agencies who are taking the decisions on how to open up the economy and what policies to be implemented to ensure that as things started opening up, there was a safety and security that would be put into the picture to ensure the citizens are safe. But while doing this, very often I had to be going to a lot of places in public where there were interaction with other COVID warriors who were very often exposed to COVID. inevitably I got COVID, and so did my family. Fortunately, we were lucky that we could isolate ourselves at home and get out of it without much trouble. Not everybody was this lucky. But then there was something that we had to keep running. While we were away from work and only available on video call, our team of professionals, operators, technicians, and their tools of SOPs, policies, processes, and technologies ensured that we were able to do record numbers during Ganesh festival in spite of not being present at work. This excellent synchronization of people, process, and technology is something that paved its way towards the consumers' hearts in times of crisis like COVID. But in today's era, what we see is that simply having these processes were not useful because most of our consumers were not able to see this. This is where we were able to utilize the power of social media to effectively communicate what we were doing, and that brings me to our third pillar, which I believe is communication. With most people locked up home and unable to step out apart from the few restricted times that we had in our country, people were relying a lot on digital media to keep them updated about what's happening and also to know about what's happening in the other parts of the country and their well-wishers too. Along with this, food and communication also was an important part that was enabled with digital technology. While doing this, what we realized is that we have to take a few more steps in showing what we do, building upon the transparency and trust that our consumers have instilled upon us. And one of the first things which we did was to take our consumers with the help of media directly into our factory and show them what we were doing day in, day out. This transparency, effective communication, the ability to listen, and overall an empathy to be sensitive about what the needs of our consumer and our people are and communicating that in the right manner was something that definitely contributed to a great increase in our brand equity. Second was our acknowledgement of the frontline COVID warriors, the doctors, the teachers, the bureaucrats, and the millions of selfless helping Indians that came out in big numbers to help the people around them and ensure that we broke the chain. This acknowledgement, what we called as Mushak Sena, which was close to the Ganesh festival and something that we associate with Lord Ganesh, is something that definitely helped build a better connect with the people around us. And while doing all of these things, what I realized is that we as an organization need to work more in growing deeper in our connect with the ecosystem. This is something that we have to preserve, and if we do this right, no matter what the pandemic comes, we will always be able to tide through it with flying colors. As a fourth generation partner in a family business that spans 8 decades, we are always trying to ponder and take actions on how to be relevant, how to evolve, and how to be present and make a difference in the lives of our consumers by keeping up with the times amidst all the struggles of positive and negative sentiments, different regulations, change in trends, and also the very fast and accelerated pace of evolution that we have to deal with. How do we as brands remain fit in this evolution that is accelerating every day and remain relevant for the generations ahead? In this era of gig economies, how do we create sustenance and longevity for our organizations is something that we have to try and address. If we are to look at it from the principles of Darwin, it is something that is survival of the fittest, but I believe that the criteria for judging the fitness of organizations is something that needs a revision. It is no more about the profits and the cash flows and the turnovers, but it is also about the connect that organizations build with the people, the process, the investments in the technology, and also the communication that they do and the stands that they take and the positions that they communicate with the people around them. Are we caring about our people, our environment, and the ecosystem that our organizations are thriving in? Are we innovating enough to be relevant in the times to come? And are we investing into technology that is making us relevant and sustainable in the time to come? Are we communicating our positions, our stands, our achievements, and our opinions to the people that matter, internally and externally? When things go wrong and defense is the best offense, that is something that people get into a shell with, What are we as organizations trying to preserve and ensure that we come out of this shell stronger and better? I feel that along with the principles of profitability and turnovers and cash flows, these principles of people, process, technology and communications play an equal, if not an important part in preserving the organizations to be relevant in the time to come. As leaders, we need to examine that how do we bring these principles into our organization and inculcate this idea and thought process of being sustainable, not just in terms of the longevity, but also in overcoming the limitations that the gig economy offers. For me, the answer to this question lies in the Hindu principles of action, which is karma, and greater good, which is dharma. If our actions are aligned with the greater good, the fitness and the profits and the survival will be a mere byproduct. And in this case, COVID or something new that we will face as humanity, we will not simply tide over this, but we will come out a lot more stronger. Namaste.